Welcome to the studios of Wisconsin Rapids Community Media and our program, Making Connections. Now, you're used to Tom Laux hosting this program. My name is Milt Van Natta, and I'm serving as the guest host for this episode of Making Connections. Our very special guest this time is Tricia Fancher. She is the program coordinator of the Hana Center. And it's our purpose over the next half hour or so to introduce you to the Hana Center, which is operating in Marshfield currently, and tell you about the possibilities of a Hana Center opening in Wisconsin Rapids. And if we can let you know about what the Hana Center is and why it might be a good fit for our Southwood County area, then we've accomplished what we set out to do in this conversation. Tricia, thanks for stopping in and sharing with us today.
Thanks for having me.
You are celebrating the 25th year of the Hana Center, impacting and changing lives in Marshfield. For a great deal of our viewers, that might be new. First time right now that they've heard of the Hana Center. So start from the beginning and introduce us to the Hana Center and its mission.
Absolutely. So the Hana Center, as you said, we're celebrating our 25th year this year, which is exciting. That puts us back to 1993. So June of 1993 is when the Hana Center opened her doors for the first time. And the Hana Center began as a thought in the community amongst some community members that at that time there was a crisis within our communities of women facing crisis pregnancy. So young women who were pregnant and homeless, getting kicked out of their homes, whatever that might have looked like for them. So a group of community members came together and said, we need to do something about this. And the Hana Center was born from that. So the Hana Center opened in 1993 in June, and we served women in crisis pregnancy. Over the years, we became a hub of referral for our community. So getting phone calls for lots of different reasons from community members just in need of many different things. And as we began taking those phone calls and assisting families in crisis, it came to our direction that our mission, that we needed to expand our mission to better meet the needs of our community. So in 2011, we expanded the mission of the Hana Center, and we now serve any woman in crisis, pregnant or not, parenting or not. And our mission is to assist women through compassion and guidance in a nurturing environment. Really looking to set women and their children up on a track in life where they can make positive changes in their lives and and find themselves in better situations.
So let's start to peel away some of the layers there.
Yeah.
Let's go back. So what is the facility itself? Did you buy a home and remodel it? Did you build something? Tell us about the physical center itself.
Yeah, so the Hana Center it's a very large old home. And so we're located kind of right off of Central in Marshfield, so a very good central location. And it is a very big old home that's over 100 years old. And we're set up with office spaces and a staff space and living room, kitchen, just what you would think of in our homes, which is something that is unique to the Hana Center, and that one of our core values is to provide a home. So we want to be that home to women and children in crisis and have that home-like atmosphere.
Now, I have a home, Tricia, that happens to be 100 years or a little bit older. Sometimes it nags me a bit. There's things that need to be seen to. Has that been a bit of a challenge over the years?
Absolutely. Yeah, so as you said, a 100-year-old home can definitely provide its challenges. So being able to keep up with the maintenance that comes with a home of that age, and then also being able to keep up with the feel of the home and creating that home environment that's not so outdated that you're back in the 50s or more.
So let's talk about now your residents, because it isn't the Hana Center. It provides safety and shelter, but don't you like to think of yourselves as providing a whole lot more than that also?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Hana Center, like I said, we're serving any woman in crisis. Now, as you know, crisis can mean different things for different people. So when I say crisis, you know, we're looking at women coming out of homelessness, chronic homelessness, maybe due to the lack of skill to provide for themselves and be successful independently. We're looking at sometimes domestic violence within a relationship. Sometimes it's loss of relationship. Sometimes the crisis pregnancy is still something that we serve. One of the major things that all of our communities, I think, right now are facing is the drug epidemic. And so a lot of the women that we're serving are coming out of, you know, having addiction histories and trying to overcome those things. So crisis can be many different things for people. And the Hana Center, we have three main programs, or three programs, I should say, that we're running within our home.
Okay, tell us about those each, please.
Okay, so we'll start with our individual goal-based program, and what that looks like. Because the Hana Center, we are a home for women in crisis. We're not a homeless shelter, and we're really a place where we want women coming in and making positive changes in their lives. Not only are we serving the women, but their children. Their children are coming and living with them if they have children. And we are also making these changes in the lives of women, but also making these lasting changes and breaking the cycles of abuse and poverty and homelessness and addiction in the lives of the children as well, which is huge. So through our individual goal-based program, our residents are coming in and setting long-term goals for themselves, you know, where they can come in and say, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live this life anymore. And they can take a deep breath and think about what they want their future to look like and really start planning for their future. So setting long-term goals. And then we're assisting the women. I meet with them twice a week, and they're setting 5 weekly goals. And their weekly goals are those small stepping stones that are leading them to their long-term goals. Being an individual goal-based program, so what that means essentially is that each woman is coming from a different place in her life, and we recognize that, and we come alongside those women where they're at. So that can look different for each woman. The end goal for each woman and child that calls the Hana Center home is that they are able to live successfully, independently in the community again. Sometimes they're in that program, they're at the Hana Center for 7 to 12 months. You know, it's a longer term program. Making lifestyle changes and making positive change in your life isn't easy.
It's not.
And it doesn't happen overnight, you know. So because of that, our residents are at home at the Hana Center for sometimes up to a year, so that they're really getting on their feet, making those changes, making those positive habits, so that when they get out on their own, they can be successful independently.
Okay.
While they're in our programs, they're participating in life skill classes. We are teaching life skill classes on everything from parenting and positive discipline, resume making, interviewing skills, professionalism, time management, communication, lots of different things. We cater the life skill classes to meet the needs of our residents. Sometimes it's cooking, you know, how to make healthy meals, how to shop on a budget. We run about a 9-week budgeting program that our residents are participating in. So lots of things just to teach them the skills that they need. Not only are we teaching the residents the skills that they need, or the women the skills they need, but then teaching their children those things as well. Or if their children are very young, giving them the ability so that they can then teach their children those skills so their children can be successful down the line as well. We do group and one-on-one life coaching with the residents. We're doing healthy relationships, self-esteem, communication, and AODA, or drug and alcohol recovery, things within the Hana Center as well. So that's I guess just the tip of that one program.
And how many people are doing that? What kind of staff is there daily at the Hana Center?
That's a great question. So we have, I'm there, you know, during the day, and then we have an office manager. We also have women's mentors, women's mentors are serving the women and in evenings and weekends and things like that. So we're staffed 24/7. There's always one staff person there to guide the women, to love on them, and to just lift them up and then help them along the way and really come alongside of them and teach them the skills that they need on a daily basis.
Okay. would you tell us more? Because I know that you carefully selected the word epidemic, that there's a drug epidemic in our communities. As someone who's on the front lines of that, can you tell us the impact that it's having?
Yeah, absolutely. It is an epidemic. It is the drug epidemic in our communities and surrounding communities is taking over the lives of so many people, and not only affecting the person that may be using drugs or alcohol, but their families as well, and just ripping away their life. And I started at the Hana Center 5 years ago in 2013, and looking back, I wish I would have recorded exact numbers in this, but I didn't know this was coming. But if I got 10 inquiries that month from women in crisis back in 2013, maybe 1 or 2 of those women had a history of drugs or alcohol. And now, right here this month, if I get 10 inquiries, maybe 1 or 2 of them do not have histories with drugs or alcohol.
So we're up to 80 to 90% of the people you're talking to. My goodness. What a dramatic shift in
Absolutely.
a relatively short period of time. So at some point it always comes back to this question, Tricia, and that is, how is the Hana Center funded?
Yeah. So the Hana Center is, we are a nonprofit organization, and what that means is we're funded by the community. So this is a community-funded organization and has been for 25 years, which is exciting. That's exciting for us because we have a caring community surrounding us. And we do write for some small family foundation grants and different things like that. So we do have a little bit of that grant income. And then we also do lots of fundraisers. So we have some pretty fun events and big events that help raise the money. And then the rest, we have businesses and churches and individuals who are partners with the Hana Center that donate on a regular basis to keep our doors open and to keep making these changes in the lives of women and children.
And we're thankful for Tricia being here today, because one of those big fundraisers is tomorrow.
Yes, yes.
And so we know that her inbox is this high, so we're thankful that you stopped in.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Can you share with us a couple of, without sharing, of course, any names, but can you share a couple of stories?
Yeah.
Tricia? There's great power in story. Can you tell us about a couple ladies and families that you helped over these, that you've had personal contact with in the last 5 years?
Yeah, absolutely. The first person that comes to mind is a young woman who actually just successfully graduated from the Hana Center last weekend, and she is an amazing, strong woman who I just look up to and I've learned so much from. She is coming from a place, family history. She started using drugs and alcohol at the age of 13. And found herself throughout her life continuing that cycle, and she had her first child, and through that continued to use drugs and alcohol, and she got to a point where she was faced with criminal charges due to the drug use. Her child was taken from her care and placed with her aunt and uncle, who have since adopted him. And she came to the Hana Center. She was in the drug court program here in Wood County, and she came to the Hana Center. She was pregnant with her second child, addicted to heroin, and found herself in rehab for, I don't know how many, how many times she had been in rehab, and knew that she needed to do something further than what she'd done before, and at that time reached out to the Hana Center. She came to us and pregnant with her second child, and she set some pretty high goals for herself, and just said, I know I can do this, and I need the support to get it done, and I'm going to do this. And we brought her into the Hana Center last October, so October of 2017. So she was with us for almost 1 full year to successful graduation. During her stay at the Hana Center, she celebrated her 1 year clean from drugs and alcohol. She's successfully graduating the drug court program in another week or 2 coming up. She gave birth to her son, who is the most smiley, happy little guy you could ever see. And to see the changes that she has made in her life, It's amazing. It's breathtaking because she has come so far and worked so hard. She's working 2 part-time jobs in the community. She is an amazing mother. The parenting skills that she has learned, the bond that she has with her child, and not only has she stayed clean and sober, but she's giving back to others, in recovery, and to others that are working hard to get to that point as well. The life skills that she has learned, she has a budget and she sticks with it. She graduated the Hana Center with over $1,000, actually over $1,500 in a savings account, which she had shared with us. I was never able to save a dollar, much less this. And so she successfully graduated, signing the lease to her own apartment. And
Wow.
Just amazing to see those changes. Another.
Let me ask one question, then I want to hear another story.
Okay.
but I just want to kind of follow up. So it sounds like having structure around her was a necessary ingredient. Acquiring skills was a necessary ingredient. Having support, encouragement and support around her was a necessary ingredient. Am I missing anything in hearing her story that was necessary to her success?
I think that those supports, not only within the Hana Center, but outside in the community. So one of the things that we like to do is connect all of our residents with supports. We don't want to be the only support, because I think we all know we need a positive support system to be successful.
Yeah, all of us.
So how can we connect our residents with positive supports in the communities, whether that be from everything from moms groups and churches to counselors to doctors to all of those things that a lot of times women coming from crisis don't know how to take the steps to go about getting, and sometimes they don't have the skills or don't have the confidence a lot of the times to build those healthy, positive relationships. So really, I think that was a huge piece of it for her, is having those supports. And now when she's out on her own, she has these positive, amazing people surrounding her to help her when she needs it, to talk to when she needs it, So I think that's one of the biggest pieces as well. And then those skills, learning the skills that she needed to be successful independently. Not only can she now take these skills and be successful, but she can teach them to her child, which isn't something, when you don't have the skill yourself, you can't pass those skills on. And she's excited to see her child be able to grow up in an environment that is healthy and positive and loving, and to be able to give her child that now.
Okay, share another story with us, please.
Yes. So another young lady comes to mind. A couple of years ago, we had a woman come from a home that has, she was brought up in a loving, caring Christian home, and she found herself making decisions as a young adult that led her to being pregnant. And her relationship with mom and dad, she could stay at mom and dad's house and live with them, and they were supportive of her. However, she knew that she needed to step away and make changes in her life so that she could give her child the life that she wanted to. And sometimes one of the scariest things to do, but one of the best things that we can do, is step outside of our own family to get the help that we need. Because sometimes, your family loves you and they're supportive of you, but that's not always the best way to get the skills that you need or to make those changes. So she came to the Hana Center and was pregnant with her first child, and just unsure what her future looked like, unsure what her life with a baby looked like. And really worked on building those parenting skills. She went through we have different volunteers that come in and teach breastfeeding classes and labor and delivery and all these great things, and public health nurses. So getting her set up with all of those things and support systems in that way. She gave birth to an amazing red-haired little boy who is just adorable. And she stayed at the Hana Center, and watching her become a mother, going from a very young lady to a mother, that's a huge shift. That's a huge change, not only in your life, but in your heart as well. And watching her do that, and watching her get connected in the community with churches and other positive mothers who were eager to pour into her and love her and teach her skills as well. And she graduated the Hana Center, I believe, after about 10 months she was with us. She graduated the Hana Center, and she actually is now married.
Wonderful.
Recently married, and her little boy just celebrated his, I think, third birthday, and is working in the community, and she's actually pursuing her ability to help women in crisis, maybe in a different avenue, sex trafficking and things like that. And she's looking into going to school to be able to give back. And I just connected. She came to the Hana Center not that long ago and wanted to know, like, how can I volunteer, Okay. And being able to show her, we walked around the house, and she's like, this was my old room. This is where he was born, and just to hear from her perspective a few years later, how that impact, and to see that emotion as she came back and walked through the doors, and like she said, this isn't something I could have done on my own. Without this help, I don't know where I'd be. So to see that, and to still have these connections with these women, because building relationships is so important, and having those lasting relationships is so important.
So our purpose today isn't just to tell you about something meaningful that is happening in Marshfield, because here in Southwood County, if we can, the greater Southwood County area, we have a drug epidemic too. We've got many women in crisis, and so that's really the second half of what we want to talk about today. Is that when did the idea first come up? When's the first time someone made that suggestion, Tricia, about what about doing the Hana Center and having that resource in the Southwood County, Wisconsin Rapids area?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's somewhat new. The Hana Center, we serve women from anywhere. We're serving all of Wood County and surrounding counties. However, in August of this year, I was approached by community members in the Wisconsin Rapids area saying, what if there was a Hana Center here? What about bringing a home and duplicating this in the Wisconsin Rapids area to serve and to reach more women and children in crisis through the programs that are already existing in Marshfield?
But that takes a little bit of doing. It's a wonderful idea, but to go from idea to reality, there's some hard work in between those 2 points. So where does it stand right now, this moment today? Where does it stand, Tricia?
So the Hana Center, as an organization, our board members and our team have decided that, if the Wisconsin Rapids community wants to see a second home be born in Wisconsin Rapids, we're absolutely willing to do that and to bring our mission here into a home. We would love to see that happen. We would love to serve more women and children in order to reach as many people in need as we can. So I guess from our perspective, that's where we're standing. If this is something that the community wants, if this is something that the community is going to get behind, then let's do it, and let's talk about how we make that happen.
Has there been a steering committee locally or anything like that is formed to do just that?
Yeah, so right now we're in the conversation phases of this. I have talked to different churches and individuals within the Wisconsin Rapids area to kind of share the word that this is a potential. If this is something the community wants, but this is a potential expansion opportunity for the Hana Center and for our community. So right now we're kind of gearing up to get feedback from the community as to what that will look like, and then really launch into it if we get that feedback that yes, this is a need and the community wants to see this happen, then launching into doing the fundraising and doing all those pieces to bring that together. I think as I talked earlier about the drug epidemic, that those numbers speak for themselves, and we just recently had the point-in-time homeless count in Wood, Portage, Marathon County, and there was an increase of homeless in Wood, Portage, and Marathon County, but in Wood County alone in Wisconsin Rapids, people that were counted as homeless, within that. So the need is there. We definitely see that need, and I myself live in Wisconsin Rapids and work in Marshfield. So not only do I see the numbers as far as the need in Wisconsin Rapids, but living here and being in community here, I see the need and I know that it's there. And what can we do about it? How can we make this happen as a community to better our community and to strengthen our community? How can we come together in numbers, to strengthen our community?
So we have about 5 or 6 minutes left in our program today. Can we take that last thought and really put some detail into it? So someone is watching this program and they go, we need that, and I want to support that. What would you encourage them to do as a result of watching this program to say that they are willing to support this initiative moving forward?
Absolutely. So I think there's many things that somebody can do, but we need to hear your voice. We need to hear that the community wants this, and then we need to come together to make that happen. And as we talked about earlier, funding. We're a nonprofit organization. The Hana Center does not accept any state or federal funding.
Okay.
So we are a home run on community donation and on fundraising. So to make this happen, we have a big ask of the community that we would need a home donated to the Hana Center, whether that's through different entities coming together to make that help happen, and then looking at raising the funds for operating costs. For the first 3 to 5 years, so that we can get started up and we can sustain in that amount for that time. And then to know that not only for those first 3 to 5 years, but continually, like I said, we're in our 25th year in Marshfield. And primarily the Marshfield community sustains the Hana Center and has for 25 years. So to know that we have that backing of the Wisconsin Rapids community, whether that be through monthly donations, one-time gifts, building relationships with businesses, with organizations, and with churches. The Hana Center is a Christian home. Our mission and core values are all biblically based, and I think we all know that that's one of the best support systems we can get is through the churches. So to build those relationships with churches and with individuals in the Wisconsin Rapids community that can step up and say, I want to make a difference, and whether that be financially or of their time, because not only, if this happens, the Hana Center is run, we have a board of directors, which is a volunteer board, and they're a working board. So looking at, what does that look like to gain some board members from the Wisconsin Rapids area, and staffing. Our staffing, we'd be looking for women who want to serve on local missions and want to be a part of these women's lives and love on them and guide them and just really help to bring positive change to their life. So I think there's a lot right now. Our biggest need would be the community stepping up financially and in fundraising efforts and in their voices to say, we want to see this happen. We want to see this brought to Wisconsin Rapids, and then financially making those steps to make that happen.
How would you prefer they contact you? Visit your Facebook site, call the Hana Center in Marshfield, but how do you want them to reach out to you and let them know, I'm on board with this? Absolutely.
You can always, as you said, we have a website, which is just www.hanacenter.com.
Okay.
So that's one way. And then we have a Facebook page, but call us, call the Hana Center, call the Hana Center office.
Okay.
And reach out to myself or our office manager if you have questions, and if you want to, there's a way that you want to step up and get involved, call us and let's have that conversation, and just to let your voice be heard through contacting us.
Okay. Is there anything that you'd like to share with our viewers that I haven't asked you about today?
I think on top of, we talked about our individual goal-based program, and we have the urgent housing room at the Hana Center as well. So just a little bit on those 2 other programs, if I can.
I thought I had 3 things down, but I have point 1 with A and B.
Yeah. We always have an A and B, right?
By all means, share the other 2 programs.
Excellent.
I'm sorry about that.
No. So the individual goal-based program is one of our primary programs. In March of 2018, we launched our urgent housing room. So we have one room at the Marshfield location where a woman can come in and in a more urgent situation where, she's homeless and needs somewhere to go within, 24 to 72 hours. So we have opened a room where she can come in and really take a deep breath and know, okay, it's going to be okay. We're going to figure this out. And it's about a 2-week program while she works towards being accepted into our long-term individual goal-based program. So that was something new and exciting this year that happened.
Absolutely.
And it has been a huge asset to the community and to the women that we're serving. And the other program that we have at the Hana Center is Hana's Caring Closet, which is a wonderful, wonderful asset. What Hana's Caring Closet is we accept donations of new, gently used baby items, really any baby item you can think of, from cribs and car seats and changing tables and bouncy chairs, and then clothing from size 0 up to size 6. All of the children at the Hana Center are clothed and fed and diapered based off of those donations, allowing mom to put more money into her savings account for their future, and really looking at how can I set up our future. But then also Hana's Caring Closet is open to any community member in need. So any community member can call and request clothing items or diapers or formula or high chair, whatever their need may be. And what we do is we have volunteers. We have wonderful, amazing, dedicated volunteers that really run Hana's Caring Closet. They come in and they fill those requests, and then we get those requests back out to the community. We served over 375 families last year in 2017 out of Hana's Caring Closet alone, which is a huge number. So it's definitely a huge need in our community. So not only would these be things, and assets that we'd be bringing to the Wisconsin Rapids community if the expansion is something that's needed and wanted in this community, but also we're serving any community out of Hana's Caring Closet. So if there's anybody in need that is hearing our program now, please call and inquire about Hana's Caring Closet.
Tricia, I don't think the question is about need. I think it's more about desire,
right.
Whether or not we have the desire to make it happen.
Yes, I agree.
The need is there.
Absolutely.
Okay. So there's the individual goal-based program which rehabilitates lives. There's the urgent housing room for people in immediate crisis. And then there's the Hana's Caring Closet, which not just the clothing, but the other items that parents of young ones need.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for stopping in today. We so appreciate the conversation.
Yes, thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And I hope that we'll get the opportunity not too far down the line of giving folks an update of the progress on bringing a Hana Center to our city.
Absolutely.
This is Making Connections, hosting for Tom Laux today. I'm Milt Van Natta. Make sure that you join us again as we share your community with you through Making Connections on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media.